In this video, we're going to review our order editing functionality within Corso. So I'll show you what it looks like to the customer and what types of edits you will allow your customers to make. And then we'll jump into the back end within the admin and show you kind of some of the functionality and flexibility we have to be able to offer this in a lot of unique ways. So to jump in, we're looking at the portal here and you'll see our edit order section here. So you have the ability to customize the text here, and you can also determine within our automations rules that I'll show you here in a second when this shows and when it doesn't show, right? So you'll be able to allow this to display when you want to allow customers to display orders, and it can be specific down to any of the conditions leveraged within our rules. But as we come in here as a customer, you may want to allow them to be able to edit their order, and we do this in a couple of simple ways. They can update their address if they found that the address that they have is incorrect. So you can come in here and say, oh, actually this is wrong, it's 1800 or whatever that might be. They'll go ahead and click next. It will show what it was and what it is now, and they can update that. That'll update straight to Shopify, and they can do that as many times as they need to if that continues to change for whatever reason prior to the order fulfilling. Now, the other option is we allow them to cancel the order. Again, these will both be able to be offered at different times and in different ways. So you can either offer to allow them to only update their address and not cancel orders, or vice versa, or you can offer both. But in the scenario where the cancel order is available, they can come in here, you can customize the text here, and they can cancel the order. That will go through directly to Shopify and cancel the order. Now, obviously, there's a lot of conditions and scenarios where we are pushing that cancellation to Shopify, so these things need to be handled in a timely manner. So how we set all this up is within our rules here. So if we jump into our settings and go to order editing, we have a couple of basic settings here at the top. Description, expired description. So in the scenario where if we jump into this example, if the order is no longer editable, but you do allow people to edit orders at times and it's outside of a window, then you can kind of describe that text or add some description text in there. And that's outside of this window, right? So really this is manually set by you as the brand, and this kind of determines what window you want to allow customers to be able to edit for. So if you want it to be an hour, it kind of depends on what systems you use and what your fulfillment looks like and things like that. But that's kind of a base level setting that you're able to set along with your descriptions up above. Now, where this gets really powerful is when you come down into our order editing rules, and you'll see that we have a cancel order and an update address rule. So we actually split those out here. If we edit this rule here, you'll see that by default we do, when you create a new one of these, we add a bunch of these conditions in. The reason for that is obviously fulfillment status. If an order is fulfilled, you will not be able to cancel it, right? So there's some scenarios where, we kind of do set some of these rules for you because there are some limitations on the Shopify end where we will not be able to cancel an order, obviously, in the scenario where it's already been fulfilled. But things like order canceled, if it's already been canceled, you need this to be false so that they're not canceling an order that's already canceled. And then obviously an order financial status of being paid. So the order's been processed, but they just haven't been fulfilled, and those are cancelable, right? But you have a lot of customization that you could add in here to make this really unique, right? You have access to all of our different conditions that are available to you, whether it's by product, order details, customer details, anything like that. An example could be you might allow your VIP customers who are tagged with VIP, allow them to cancel their orders, but maybe other customers you're not. Maybe they've had a certain they've ordered a certain number of purchases or whatever it looks like there. You have ability to kind of set those conditions there. And then you kind of set up all of your kind of the action or the functionality here. So you determine in the rule whether you're going to make it a cancel order or an update shipping address or rule here. And then again, setting up your description, confirmation message, which is the message after that, and then your success in the scenario where it went through successfully, you can kind of showcase that. And then you have your notification and restock depending on how you want to handle those things. Again, this is in kind of a cancellation scenario. And then if we come into a edit or update address, again, some conditions set here. You can have this on, you can have the other one off. Again, you don't have to ask for both things, but if you do want to, then you can see here you have a handful of the conditions that are set up. Great. And then again, you have the ability to set some of these conditional descriptions and customize those as you need and as you see fit. So again, at a really high level, it just gives customers the ability, once they've canceled an order, it'll come in like this. If they look it up again, it'll show the details. It was canceled on this date. But as they come in and you enable that rule and that functionality for those who qualify and fit the conditions, they'll have the ability to do those few edits there. It's really simple, works really, really well, and can be customized around your needs. So we think it's a great solution.